Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Jerusalem. Today is Chavdalet Teves, which is the yard site, the day of the passing of the Alter Rebbe, the first Rebbe of Chabad. And in his honor, I would like to tell a story. One of his Hasidim was once entrusted with the mission of going ahead and collecting funds for the overall community. He went to see his Rebbe for a blessing. And he received just that, but before he left, the Rebbe added one unique, mysterious detail. He said, I want you to be careful not to go into any house that has an entryway that faces towards the east side. So he thought it was bizarre, but who is he to question his Rebbe? And off he went. And he was very successful. He raised funds very quickly. And so he started making his way home. But as he was journeying on his way home, all of a sudden he got stuck in a major snowstorm. A huge blizzard came through. He could barely see in front of him. He was freezing, and there was no sign of civilization. He thought he couldn't handle much longer, looking everywhere, trying to find any sign of refuge, but none to be found. And all of a sudden, thank God, he notices a house, a lone house off to the side. And so he makes his way towards it and he knocks on the door, freezing as can be. And he even notices that there's a mezuzah on the door, so he knows it's a Jewish home. And an old lady answers and she says, please come in, you must be freezing. There's a stove on, go warm yourself up. I'll make you some tea. Leave the horses, my sons will be back soon. They'll take care of the horses, they'll put them in the barn. You just warm up, take care of yourself. He can't believe his luck to find such a nice old woman to take care of him in the middle of nowhere. And all of a sudden he realizes the time, and it's almost time for the sun to set, which means he needs to pray the afternoon prayer. He tells the lady, and she says, please go in the room. You'll have all the silence that you need there. You can pray in peace. So he's so happy, he goes and starts thanking God and doing his prayers. And as he's finishing up, he notices that he faces the east when he prays. And the direction he was facing was exactly the direction of the entryway, which is exactly what his Rebbe told him not to do, to go into a home that was facing towards the east. He quickly tried to go out, but the old lady heard him coming and quickly closed the door with the lock and the key, and he's stuck in there. And he says, please, I kind of forgot something I need to get for my horse. And she's not having it. She slips out. Next thing you know, 4 burly men come in, her sons. And they say, oh, what do we got here? They burst open the door, they grab a hold of him, they tie him up, they empty his pockets. Well, as you can imagine, he had been raising funds, so they found a hefty amount, and they were happy. They left him tied and in the corner of the room as they pulled out some vodka to celebrate. The mother came in, she started counting the money, she said, we hit the jackpot, this will last us a month at least. While they're in the middle of having l'chaims, joking around, all of a sudden the father comes in and he says, well done, boys. You know what? We're going to have to finish him off, though. So one of the boys pulls out a knife and he says, no, now it's time for celebration. Let's not mess with it. I'll take care of him during the night. So after drinking a lot, they all finally fall asleep. And the father quickly gets up in the middle of the night around midnight and he cuts the ropes that are tying this chassid, hands him his money back, and he says, quickly, go, get out of here, run for your life. And before the chassid could get out the door, he jams a golden coin into his chest, and he says, take this and give it to your Rebbe and tell him to pray for me, please. So he manages to get out of there around dawn. He's coming towards the Rebbe to go ahead and tell him what happened, and as he comes in, the Rebbe says, you need not say a single word. I saw everything that was happening. I was busy all night interceding on your behalf in the heavens. So the chassid went ahead and gave the gold coin, and he says, well, the father told me to give you this to pray on his behalf. The Rebbe took this coin and he jammed it inside the crack inside the wall. 15 years actually went by, and this chassid became one of the attendants of the Rebbe. And one day, an old beggar came knocking on the door saying he would like to see the Rebbe. So the attendant went to tell the Rebbe that there was an old beggar that wanted to see him. And he noticed the Rebbe grabbed a hold of this coin that had been sitting 15 years in this crack in the wall. And he grabbed a hold of it, and he said, the man that you have before you is actually the father. You see, what happened was, after he let you loose, his family couldn't believe it. They got so angry they kicked him out. And that night, there was a raid. His whole family got locked up, but he's been wandering 15 years seeking for repentance to be accepted in heaven, waiting for a sign. And finally, today, he's going to get it. God bless everyone. Be well. And make sure to go ahead and maybe light a candle in the Alter Rebbe's honor.